Good day everyone and welcome to Poser's Movie Recaps. Our film begins with a group of men who stop a truck to steal from it. As they open the rear door, they discovers that the truck is almost empty except for a box that looks to have something important inside. As they pry it open, they find a mannequin inside that seems to unleash an evil entity. When the rear door closes on its own and the truck shakes, the leader of the men opens the truck and finds the lifeless body of his companions. He then starts to gurgle as if he's suffocating with something, and a moment later, he falls to the ground dead. Witnessing the strange occurrence with his own eyes, the truck driver tries to run, but gets hit by a car causing him to lose his life. Frankie, the woman driving the car, is shocked by what just happened, and spots a mannequin in her rearview mirror. As the police investigate, they ask her if she's seen anything unusual, to which Frankie says no. When Frankie reaches home, she finds her unreservedly obnoxious partner Steve in the living room, who wouldn't shut up about their supposed future plans. Somewhere else, an old man receives a call from the police about losing the crate in the truck, but he is adamant that it needs to be recovered, because no insurance can cover the cost of another life. The next day, Frankie is still deeply bothered by the accidents, and is extremely jumpy from the experience. She feels that there is someone or something inside the house, and when her friend Lucy arrives, they go to a nightclub in an attempt to forget about the accident. She tells her friends about it, but no one believes her as they think that what she experienced is still fresh in her mind. While her friends are enjoying themselves on the dance floor, Jonah stays with Frankie. Suddenly, Jonah feels a chill on his bone, and spots the silhouette of the mannequin among the people dancing. When it's time to leave, Molly asks Frankie to stay behind for a little while, and insists that she pop some pills as an answer to all her problems. For a moment, she forgets about everything and enjoys dancing, but when she starts feeling sick, she rushes to the washroom to freshen up. When she returns, she is shocked to find Molly standing amidst a heap of lifeless people, and the mannequin that's standing by the DJ booth starts chasing them. As they run into the corridor, Molly shut the door on Frankie, but instead of approaching Frankie, the mannequin follows Molly and slits her throat. When the police arrive, she tells them that the killer is a mannequin, but no one really believes her statement. Her friends are afraid, because they feel that people have been dying around Frankie. But Jonah seems to understand her, as he also feels like something has been following him since he spotted the silhouette at the nightclub. As Jonah walks home, he sees the mannequin across the street. Feeling uneasy, he walks faster but the mannequin seems to follow him all around. The next morning, Steve tries to comfort Frankie, but she's too depressed with everything that transpired. She asks Steve to believe her, but the man thinks that the mannequin is just in Frankie's imagination. Later, Jonah visits Frankie and tells her about his experience last night. Frankie says that the first time she saw the mannequin was after she hit the driver with her car. Jonah shows her an internet video of a woman crying, asking for help from the people as there is a mannequin after her life. When the video ends abruptly, a silhouette of the mannequin is seen by the woman's window. When Frankie shows the video to their friends, they are still hesitant to believe a killer mannequin story. They think that Frankie's mental state is affected by having to deal with so many deaths in a short period of time. She explains that the mannequin is after all of them, and even when they cannot see it, they'll still feel its presence. Suddenly, the mannequin appears in the room, but before they can actually react, Steve arrives and dismisses what they saw. Despite seeing the mannequin, Frankie's friends still fail to accept its actual existence, and discount it as mass hysteria set in motion by Frankie. Later, one of their friend Louis goes for a swim in a pool, unaware that the mannequin is now stalking him. When he starts to feel that someone is watching him, the mannequin pulls him under the water, causing him to drown. Jonah tries to reach out and comment on the woman's video, asking for anyone who knows about the homicidal mannequin. Meanwhile, Frankie finds Steve in distress, and when she asks him what happened, he explains that he had a horrible nightmare. He adds that in his dream, Frankie becomes obsessed with the mannequin and leaves him. Afterward, he got so angry at Frankie, causing him to do something horrible to her. The mannequin stalks their friends one by one, and they start to become paranoid about it. When someone named Victor Malik replies to Jonah's comment, he immediately calls Frankie to gather their friends to avoid any more deaths. Unfortunately, Frankie isn't able to reach all of them in time, as Madison is pushed from the balcony of her and Drake's apartment. On the way to meet with the group, Isabel spots the mannequin in the alleyway. When Lucy calls her phone, she hears it ringing and finds her lifeless body in the alley. On top of everything, Steve starts acting weird, becoming extremely suspicious and upset about the situation. As Drake arrives at Frankie's house, he is enraged and blames her for bringing the mannequin into their lives. He asks why the mannequin hasn't killed Frankie since she saw it first, but no one really knows the reasoning behind it. Jonah explains that Malik told him that they need to perform some kind of exorcism, but Blake is still upset and wants to leave. Jonah tells him that they need to stay in one place, because if someone else sees the mannequin while one of them is away, the mannequin will hunt that person as well, and the killings will never stop. They figure that when Frankie shows the videos to her friends, they see the mannequin by the end of the video, giving it a reason to hunt them down. When Steve arrives, he obnoxiously asks them what's wrong, to which Frankie answers that everything is wrong because people are dying. Steve is doubtful about Frankie's intentions and her relationship with Jonah, making him jealous and abusive towards his girlfriend. When the mannequin appears outside the house, Steve approaches it to prove that it's harmless before going back inside. The group notices that the mannequin is not disappearing like it does before, and thinks that it only disappears when they look away. Since Lucy has been continuously staring at the mannequin from the window, the mannequin is unable to disappear. Frankie tries to talk to Steve, but the man dismisses her and sends her away. Frankie, Jonah, Lucy, and Blake take a turn to keep looking at the mannequin, so they can stop the killings until they find a more permanent solution. When Frankie goes inside for a coffee, she notices that Steve is gone from his computer. He has typed the word mannequin several times in his PhD thesis, hinting at his degrading mental state. Steve haughtily tries to set the mannequin on fire, but as it melts, it disappears. Steve laughs as he goes inside, but not long after, the mannequin decapitates him. The group starts looking for the mannequin, but is unable to find it anywhere. Lucy suggests calling the police, but Jonah tells her that they cannot risk having more people in the house to see the mannequin. Frankie thinks that the mannequin is hiding since they discovered its weakness, and reminds them to never take their eyes off it if they find it. Lucy starts freaking out, as she thinks that the entity will never show itself again before killing them. She adds that it doesn't need them anymore, since they already know its secret. Suddenly, the lights go off, and the group panics. They use their phone's light to look around, but the mannequin only shows itself briefly before it disappears. Jonah and the rest of them head to the basement to check the fuse box, shining lights around to avoid the mannequin's attack. Jonah is able to turn the power on, but before they can head back to the living room, the mannequin traps Drake in the basement and kills him. Before they can even scream, the doorbell rings and it startles them. They find an old man with white eyes and shabby unkempt hair at the door, who introduces himself as Victor Malik. He explains that his daughter was the first to see the mannequin, followed by his wife and the rest of their family. Not long after, people started dying around them, but he was spared due to his blindness. He adds that despite being unable to see the mannequin, he still feels its undeniable darkness around him. Jonah asks where the mannequin comes from, to which Victor answers that only the devil knows. He tries to track it as far as Russia to avoid further death, but the mannequin proves to be evasive. A week ago, he was able to track it and shipped the thing to his estate. But during its transport, the robbers happened and Frankie saw the mannequin. Lucy tells him that they are the only ones left alive, and Victor proclaims that it's only a matter of time before the mannequin hunts them. When Frankie and Jonah leave to get more coffee, Lucy sits alone with Victor and starts chatting. Frankie spots the mannequin from the kitchen window, and when she asks Jonah to get Victor, he finds him in the middle of butchering Lucy. Victor turns around and quickly plunges his knife into Jonah, then proceeds to approach Frankie in the kitchen. Frankie asks what the noise is about, but Victor nonchalantly commands her to not take her eyes off the mannequin. After seeing Victor brandishing his knife from the window glass, Frankie evades his attack and asks what he's been doing. Victor tells her that there's no way out, as they were cursed the moment they laid eyes on the mannequin. The only escape is to extinguish everyone who has seen it, so he can stop the killing cycle of the mannequin. It will only continue if someone else encounters it, but Victor assures her that he won't let it happen again. Victor chases her through the house, but the mannequin makes it hard for her to escape. When Victor catches her, Jonah appears from behind and hits him with a baseball bat in the head. The two rush outside to get some help, but since Jonah is wounded, he soon falls to the ground. Frankie calls 911, but as the operator inquires about the problem, she decides to go back inside the house to face the mannequin. When she sees the mannequin, its reflection is caught in the mirror, making the mannequin stare at its own reflection. Because of this, the mannequin is stuck staring at itself, which seems to free Frankie from its curse. Sometime later, Frankie meets Jonah and tells him that she wants to stay with him. On the same night, Frankie sends the mannequin away in a locked box, but the men moving the box end up breaking it and see the mannequin. Thus begins a new cycle of killings involving the evil entity. Subscribe to watch more videos like this. You can also hit the notification bell and like the video to help the channel out. Thank you.